ahead. Democratic Congressman Ted Lieu of California joins me right here in New York. Also with us, Tim Miller, a contributor to The Bulwark and former communications director for Jeb Bush. Congressman, today you had the former president coming to Manhattan to be arraigned, while the current president went to Minnesota to talk about American investment. Talk about the split screen.
Well, Democrats are putting people over politics and have focused on moving the American people forward by passing infrastructure law to rebuild roads, bridges, and highways. And then you've got the leader of the Republican Party who is going to be indicted tomorrow. So it's very clear to American people, one party is trying to help the American family move forward. The other is supporting someone who's about to be charged and indicted.
Tim, is there any reason to believe that this indictment really is helping Trump? Or is this just his classic playbook? He's in trouble, go on offense.
I definitely don't think there's any reason to believe it in the long term or in the medium term. Right? I mean, the key voters, as you look ahead to both the Republican primary and the general election, are people that are generally sick and tired of all of the drama surrounding Trump. The key voter in the Republican primary likes Trump, but, might be ready to move on for him. Isn't sure they can win. Do a bunch of indictments, do a bunch of court dates piling up help them? I don't think so. In the general election, we just saw this in the midterms in 2022 and with the voters that switched from Hillary Clinton or switched from Donald Trump to Joe Biden in 2020. These voters are tired of the Donald Trump corruption and the nonsense. So does it help in the short term? Does it help them raise a little bit of money? Does it help them crowd out the room for conversation about alternative candidates in a Republican primary? Sure. But that's just a bunch of spin to cover up the fact that, no, it's not a good thing politically to have one 34-count indictment hanging over your head and a bunch more coming down the pike right behind it.
Congressman, there has been a lot of concern about the amount of coverage, the tone of coverage around Donald Trump's indictments. What do you think?
Well, now is a solemn and somber time for America. We should never want a former president to be indicted. At the same time, one of the reasons we're a democracy is that the law applies to everyone, from your ordinary American to the rich and powerful. And that's what we're seeing happen tomorrow.
I want to cover a new topic, a very somber and serious one of a different tone. Thousands of students, children, teenagers walked out of school in Tennessee today demanding action on gun violence. And what did Republicans do? Republicans in the state legislature filed a resolution to help expel the 3 Democrats who protested along with these students. Congressman, it is almost impossible to see how anything is going to get done on a federal level, but on a state level, can state lawmakers truly ignore thousands of teenagers who walked out of school today, many right alongside their voting parents?
So we're not going to do anything at the federal level with Republicans in control of the House. But if we flip the House and expand the Senate, then Democrats will pass universal background checks into law. We will pass a ban on high-capacity magazines into law and a number of other gun reform measures. At the state level, I think what the Republican state legislators are doing is outrageous, and they should listen to their constituents and at least try to have some sensible gun reform in their state.
Tim, Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene are trying to drum up these big protests, this big noise tomorrow. We have no idea if any of that is going to happen. But today, we saw massive protests led by children and teenagers. Do you think they can continue to be ignored?
I don't know. I do know that I think that these are winning issues for Democrats. It's a somber topic, obviously, but there's a reason why there's outrage, because the gun laws in a lot of these states are outrageous. Look, today, Governor DeSantis was supposed to hold an event with Governor Lieu in Tennessee. They canceled the event because of the shooting. Meanwhile, back in Florida, DeSantis passed constitutional carry, which is permitless carry, which means you can carry a handgun now in Florida without even getting any kind of license or permitting. This is an insane policy. Even half of Republican voters don't support this. So I think when you see these big crowds, what you need to understand is there is mass opposition, to these kinds of extremely lax gun laws. And I think that if Democrats focus their message on that, on the extremism of Republicans on these issues, then I do think you can get things done on this in the states. And we did see, it's worth mentioning, the first bipartisan gun bill passed, before the decent midterms for Democrats last year.
What do you think is behind this, Congressman? Whether you're talking about the concealed carry in Florida or the 6-week abortion ban in Florida, these are not popular with voters.
Absolutely not. Ron DeSantis is, in my opinion, trying to win a presidential election in a primary he has to get through first, so he's appealing to his hardcore base. But I do want to pick up on something that we saw, which is they canceled this event they were going to have because of the shooting. Well, but why would they do that? If they honestly believe, right, giving more guns to more people makes America safer, they would defend that position. So in Congress, we had a hearing in Judiciary, a markup on a bill to basically give more people pistol braces to make AR-15s more lethal. The Republicans canceled that hearing because of the shooting. But why would they do that? Because if they believe more people having more AR-15s is a solution, they would have had the hearing, defended their position, except they were cowards and they ran.
Oof, they were cowards and they ran. We're going to leave it there, Congressman.